It is shortly after 8 o'clock. I'm Mike Chamberlain, and you are officially in the newsroom. Welcome, folks. We have a couple of big developing stories in what we are calling the Polygamy Diaries, and we're going to turn this show quickly over to Mike Watkiss, who's not only covering this for us today, but has been covering this topic for many, many years.
Yeah, right you are, Mike. A couple of very explosive developments in our ongoing polygamy coverage tonight as controversy swirling around the death of a well-known polygamous leader this evening. But first up, a polygamous police chief by the name of Sam Roundy, the top cop in Colorado City, may be about to lose his job.
Are you a polygamist?
I'm not going to answer that. It's none of your business.
But if it's in violation of the state's constitution, that could jeopardize your standing in the post, the police officer training.
I suppose it could if they wanted to come and check it out.
His name is Sam Roundy, and for years he has been the police chief in the large polygamous community of Colorado City and its twin border town, Hilldale, Utah.
But I'm not going to discuss my personal business with you. I don't think a gentleman would, and I don't think a gentleman would ask.
And while during this interview several years ago, Sam Roundy would not discuss his, quote, personal business with me, Roundy reportedly has acknowledged to Utah investigators that like most men in Colorado City, he is a practicing polygamist with multiple wives, a violation of the law in both Utah and Arizona. And because of that, next week, Utah authorities poised to do something that critics say should have been done a long time ago, and that is take away Sam Roundy's badge.
I decertify the cops, number one.
Valley resident Penny Peterson escaped a forced polygamist marriage in Colorado City when she was a teenager. And like many critics, Penny says almost all of the cops in the community are polygamous men who take their marching orders from the town's polygamous prophet, Warren Jeffs.
He's a dictator, and he's put a lot of pressure on these people.
How many years does it take to investigate something?
Flora Jessup is another well-known and outspoken critic of polygamy.
Replace the existing law enforcement up there. Take them guys out.
Why?
Because you have law enforcement officers committing crimes in a community and not upholding the law. No one can go to them and get protection.
Indeed, critics say the polygamous cops who patrol along the border area and are cross-certified in both Utah and Arizona often act as sort of a polygamous Gestapo, an instrument of oppression, cracking down on women and girls who object to the polygamous lifestyle, this while also running lots of young men out of the community, the so-called lost boys. Exiled critics say in order to reduce the competition for the highly prized young brides.
They run around giving these boys tickets when they want to chase them out of town. They give them tickets until they can't afford to pay them anymore. And pretty soon they can't pay them, so they put a warrant out, a local warrant, and the boys leave.
So in essence, the cops up there are sort of an arm, the enforcers.
For the religion, yes.
Of the religion.
Yes. Oh, they always have been.
But now that may be changing, with Utah likely to pull Sam Roundy's badge next week, a case once again where Arizona officials are standing by, waiting for Utah to take the first step. Now, for his part, Sam Roundy has recently been quoted in a newspaper saying that he is being persecuted because of his religion. State of Utah set to take its action early next week, and Arizona officials telling us that they're going to observe all this and may follow suit later this month. One more potentially explosive development in this story. Let's show you some video if we could. It's the death of a 94-year-old former polygamist leader by the name of Fred Jessup. Jessup turned up dead at a hospital outside Denver this week. He's been missing for the last couple of years, disappearing from the scene just about the time that the current prophet, Warren Jeffs, took power. It's long been speculated that Mr. Jessup was viewed as a threat to Warren Jeffs' power. News Channel 3 has confirmed that law officers in at least 3 states, including Arizona, and the FBI, now investigating the circumstances of the elderly man's death, trying to figure out where he has been for the last couple of years, and the fact that his body was reportedly collected from a Colorado City or a Colorado hospital by somebody who is not a relative. This one has the potential to have some criminal activity associated with it, Mike. It's a very big story. We will follow and get the current details as soon as they become available to
Not only
us.
that, but the Mormon leader, was it Mr. Jessup's son? That says that the end of the world is coming.
Oh, yeah,
on April
Mr. Jessup,
6th.
we want to be clear. The mainstream Mormon church doesn't practice this. These people are different from that. They separated a long time ago, and I know Mormons are very sensitive to that. But yeah, the religious leader, Warren Jeffs, we're talking about, has predicted the end of the world April 6th.
Okay, wow.
Yeah, a lot going on.
You've got your work cut out for you for the next week or so. Thank you very much, Mike.